What's up, you cunts? It's your boy Batman here, and welcome to today's video. We're just gonna have some siege in the background because I can't be bothered to do a facecam video. So yeah, I'm just gonna do all this all in one take. And today we're gonna have a little story time because who doesn't like a good little story from my 20-year-old life? And today's subject, as you may all have seen in the title, is my first time trying drugs. Because if you didn't know, now you know. I have tried it. I stopped it as well. Even though sometimes you probably think I'm still doing drugs, but I'm not. But I'm not. But yeah, the first time I tried drugs, I was out in town. I was with my friends. We were in a city like uh, far away from our normal city where we used to go into town. And we were driving in my best friend's car, and the reason why we even went to that city was because our other friend knew there was gonna be some hot chicks there, and we were like, "Oh yeah, damn! Oh, we're gonna get laid." But spoiler alert, none of us got laid. But yeah, we went there and we looked around. We looked for the girls because we knew them, and we couldn't find them. So we went to nightclub to nightclub and tried to see, well, where could they be? And eventually, my friend disappeared. My best friend disappeared, and I was hanging with my other good friend, and well, the last guy I didn't well, I knew him, but he wasn't like my friend. Like, I just knew him. So I was stuck with my alright friend and this other guy, and all of a sudden, like a half an hour later, my best friend shows up. Like he's at the entrance, and he and I shit you not, he has like his arms raised, like he's walking like motherfucking Jesus to into the dance floor, and I'm just looking at him like, what the fuck is this guy up to? Like, what the fuck is he doing? So like, I walk over to him, and like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you walking like Jesus in here, and like he looks at me with the most fucked up eyes I can ever, like, I can't even describe it, but he's like, I am Jesus. Like, what did this guy do? And I'm like, and he looks at me and he's like, son, like I'm older than him, and he's like, son, I need to show you something. So I'm like, okay, well, we can arrange that. So we walk out to his car, and he's like, dude, have you ever tried drugs? And I was like, no. And then he looks at me, because even though he's like fucked up, he still has some sanity. So he's like, dude, you need to try this. And back then, we were experimenting with weed stuff, and well, I thought, why not? Wanted to see how it is. So we did some MDMA, and well, we got totally fucked. So, but the thing is, we're sitting in my friend's car, so we're like, shit, we need to get some bitches in here. So we're like looking around, and my friend is like, well, I haven't really tried driving while I was on drugs. And I was like, oh, no, dude, you do it all right, you do it all right. So he starts the engine, and we like he's like, dude, how do I change the fucking gears? I don't know how to say it in English, but you know how to change in, yeah, okay. I hope you understand what I mean. So and I tried to show him, but back then I didn't have my driver's license, so I'm like trying to do this shit, and eventually, what happens is, I put it into so it can drive, but the clutch, he lets go of it too quickly, so we almost like hit into a tree. But and then we were like, oh no, okay, we're not gonna drive, we're too fucked up. So we're sitting in the car and still like, oh, we need some bitches in here. So all of a sudden, this fat chick, and I like no discriminating. I like big girls. Uh, they're probably good, but yeah. So this massive chick, right? She walks across the fucking the sideway, and since we're so fucked up, we're like, what the fuck? That is some hot chick right there. So we like roll the windows down and like, oi, oi, hey, bitch, and we were like, hey, do you what you up to? And she was fucking drunk. She was fucking mortal. And basically she was like, I can't find my friends, I can't come home. And I was like, and my friend was like, oh well, what if we say we give her a fucking drive home? She might be able to, like, we might be able to get something out of it. So he's like, oh if you tell us where you live, we can drive you home. And she was like, oh really? Yeah. But you have to do something first for us. And I don't know if you know this, but fat girls are amazing at blowjobs. So we hadn't experienced it for ourselves, but we were like, we have to try this. So my friend first, he was like, okay, well, you need to give us some blowjobs before we can drive you home. And she was like, oh well, you hot, so might as well. So I sit back. I open the side door. I'm not in the driver's seat, but I'm in the passenger seat. I open the door. I walk back into the back seat, and I just lay down. And this fucking girl just like, she is so fat, she almost can't fit in, like, because she's laying down, right? And so I'm just laying there, getting my dog sick, my dick sucked. Sorry, my two legs are fucking hanging out of the fucking back seat of the car. And I'm just like, oh yeah, just do it. Right, so after like it's a good 10 minutes of sucking, and remember, we're in a public spot, we're in a fucking parking lot, so like we don't give a shit. So after that, my friend, he can't be really bothered to like go back there because, well, obviously, yeah, so I have ejaculated. So he's like, well, bitch, come back here. So I'm just laying there, like, trying to get my pants up. I really can't. But I close the door, so I'm in the back. So the bitch comes up to the front through the passenger seat. And my friend, he gets his seat way back so he can, like, lay there. But the bitch is still too fat, right? So she is laying across the passenger seat and all the way to my friend. But the thing where you switch, where you turn the, oh, what does this fucking call? I can't remember, but not the steering wheel, but the one you change so you can get in different kind of gears. Okay, I hope you understand what I mean. That is basically poking her in the fucking stomach. So while she's sucking my dick's friend, she's basically having two sticks, like one in her mouth, one in her fucking stomach. So Yeah, and my friends, he's coming, and she's like, "Well, could you give me a ride home?" And we're like, "Oh well, we're too fucked up." And she's like, "Oh no, you can't be fucking serious." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, bitch, but yeah, you need to leave." And she's like, "Oh fuck you guys." So that happened, and like we just gave each other a high five and everything, and we were just like, "Yeah, we got our dick sucked." So we're sitting out in the car, and like we haven't pulled our pants like completely up yet. So what happens is we sit there in like 30 minutes, talk about what happened, and then our two friends, we had like left them, so we have been away for like a good an hour or so. So they all of a sudden like open the door, and we haven't pulled our trousers up, so we're just trying to cover it up, and they're like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing out here, guys?" And then my friend, my alright friend, he looks down and he sees that we doesn't have our trousers pulled completely up, and we can't just say like, "Okay, listen, you need to just listen out." He just slams the fucking door, and he just leaves with the other guy. Um, and and at this point, like I'm so fucked up, so I'm like, "Dude, they think we did something. We need to run them over. We need to run them over. They can't sell the rest of the world." Like I was literally just looking in my friend's eye, and I was saying, "Dude, you need to start the engine fucking now, and you need to run them over. They can't sell the rest of the world." And he was like, "Well, but he's our friend." But I was like, "Yeah, but he thinks something that," and basically, yeah, don't do drugs, children. But yeah, there's more to that story, but I think I'm gonna leave it now. Was a quite long story, but if you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe while you're there. Also, a like rating. Comment what you thought of that. If you want more stories, I'm more happy to tell you. I have a few other stories with drug use if you want to hear it. And yeah, this was my first time, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and have an awesome day. Bye.